Hello Toy Collector fans, Universal Toy Collector here and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be opening up and taking a look at the retro carded Marvel's Hammerhead and Hobgoblin from Spider-Man the Animated Series, Wilson Fisk, also known as Kingpin from Hawkeye, and Matt Murdock from Spider-Man No Way Home. Okie dokie then, so before I open up the first one, I just want to say I call these overviews because that's exactly what they are. I am giving my thoughts and opinions on the card backs, the artwork, the figures, the paint apps and the accessories and stuff like that. I don't dive into the articulation, and that's why I don't call myself a reviewer or call these reviews. It's just an overview, my thoughts and opinions. And not only that, there are a lot of people out there who do fantastic figure reviews. So I don't think that I'll be bringing anything new to the table when I'm saying look at the articulation. So I'll leave that to those people who do a far better job than what I do. So as you can see, we have 4 figures in front of us, and I've got to say I'm super excited to get these open and displayed. So what we're going to do is we will start off firstly with Matt Murdock from Spider-Man No Way Home. I love Daredevil. I like the character Matt Murdock. I think Charlie Cox did a fantastic job, so I was really pleased that he was in Spider-Man No Way Home. Wasn't too keen on his cameo performance in She-Hulk, so let's take a look at the card first, shall we? So here we go. Look, so you've got Marvel Studios there, Spider-Man No Way Home, then you have the 3 Spider-Men just here, awesome stuff. Marvel Legends series there, Matt Murdock right there, and then you have the Hasbro logo just here, and then you have this big old bubble with Matt Murdock in there with his accessories. So yeah, really liking that. Great cardstock. Now I wasn't planning on opening this until I got another one to see which one had the better card, but this one's slightly sort of like veined and creased around here and just on the side there, so I'm going to be opening this up. So yeah, fairly decent looking figure. Spin it round and there you have another awesome image of the Spider-Man No Way Home Spider-Man, so pretty cool. And then if I just bring this down here, if you want to read his little bio just there, then that would be absolutely fantastic. So there you go. Right, so liking the card, liking this retro style card, I think that's pretty cool. Let's get him open and see what he's all about. So here is Matt Murdock and his accessories, albeit all 2 of them out of the packaging. And before we get into the figure, let's take a look at the accessories, starting with the brick. So let me just hold this here. So here we have the brick then. So from what I can recall of the movie, a brick was thrown through the window, wrapped in newspaper with a message on it. So that's pretty cool, some detailing there. You can see the black ink of the tabloid press there. And then you've got like a message in red there. And then you can see just in the corner the rest of the brickwork. If I spin it that way, you can see more of the brickwork. I don't want to keep spinning it too much because it'll go out of focus. So there's the brick. Very nice indeed. What a lovely brick. And then you have his walking cane. So you've got the black handle here, or his grip there with the loop that goes around his wrist. And then you've got, where's it gone? The black plunger just here, which is pretty cool. So that's nicely done. Not too bad at all. Now let's get onto the figure. Get him up a little bit closer. And there is the photo reel of Charlie Cox. I've got to say, I'm liking that a lot. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And yeah, so most people say he's just a dude in a suit. Well, you're right. He is. He's just a dude in a suit. But it's Matt Murdock, looking pretty cool. So you've got the black tie here. Breaks the white and the grey up. And then open the jacket there. He's got a black belt there. So spin it round. Some nice crease work in the back. Some wrinkles at the top of the arms there. So yeah, pretty cool. Not too bad at all. That is Matt Murdock. What I'm going to do is add his accessories to him and then take a final look. 2 seconds. And here is Matt Murdock all kitted out. And I've got to be honest, not the most exciting figure in the world. But nonetheless, despite it being a blind dude with his walking aid and a brick, I like him. I think he's pretty cool. And Matt Murdock, along with Daredevil, are becoming one of my favourite Marvel superheroes. Absolutely tremendous. So yeah, liking that a lot. He's going to be placed on the shelf along with Doc Ock and the Green Goblin, so I will be putting him there in a second. But firstly, talking of dudes in a suit, let's take a look at Kingpin. Righty-ho then, so here is Kingpin from Hawkeye, and as you can see, he is in the windowless style box. Again, not a big fan of those boxes, but nonetheless, let's take a look at the box anyway. Move it forward, and here is an awesome image of Kingpin here. Really cool looking. Then you've got like a comic version of Kingpin in the background there. Marvel Legends, if I just move that back, Marvel Legends series at the top. Build-A-Figure, Hydra Stomper, Disney Plus there, Marvel Studios, Hawkeye, warnings, and the Hasbro logo there. Spin it round to the side, and again you have this comic edition image of Kingpin just there with Marvel Legends series on the bottom. Spin it round, and yeah, I've got to say, he looks pretty cool. I am liking that a lot. So that's probably how I'm going to have him displayed, if I'm honest. I think he looks pretty cool. He comes with accessories, an extra set of hands, fist hands, and a cane. Spin it around this side, and there you have the Hydra Stomper there, the Build-A-Figure, and these are the rest of the figures in the wave where you can get the rest of the parts from. So pretty cool. So that is the box. Let's open it up and take a look at the figure. 2 seconds. And here we have Kingpin out of the packaging along with his accessories. And before we get into the figure, we shall start with the accessories. Pretty much like Matt Murdock, Kingpin isn't blessed with loads of accessories. So we'll start off with the fists here. So as you can see, you've got a left fist here. And if I can get hold of the damn thing, a right fist there. So I'm not too sure I'm going to be using those, but I'll put them at the side anyway. And then you have Fisk's cane. So you have the... where's it gone there? The white bit at the top there, and you've got some gold trim here, a little bit more gold there, just to break the black up. Again, not too sure I'm going to be using this, so I think I've already found how I'm going to pose him. So there's that, and then the figure. Let's get him up close. Let's have a look. That is Vincent D'Onofrio, and I've got to say, his performance of Kingpin is absolutely outstanding. I love that character. Wasn't a big fan, to be honest with you, with the comics and stuff, but after seeing him in Daredevil, I've got to say, what an absolute awesome character. So, loving the likeness. The jacket's pretty cool, all white there, awesome stuff. You've got the black shirt underneath there with the purplish, bluey kind of trousers and the black shoes. So, yeah, all in all, oh, spin it around, take a look at the back. There you go. You've got some crease work there, which is pretty cool. So, yeah, I mean, overall, again, it's just another guy in a suit, people will say. But, again, you'll be absolutely right. Let's get him all kitted out, shall we? And here we have Kingpin with his cane. And I've got to say, pretty much like Matt Murdock, just a dude in a suit and not the most exciting figure in the world. But it's Wilson Fisk. It's Kingpin. What more can I say? The guy is an absolute legend. What a fantastic character. And he is awesomely portrayed by the talented Vincent D'Onofrio. And I've got to say, yeah, he is one of my favourite Marvel villains. What an absolute super performance he's put in. It doesn't matter whether it's Echo, whether it's Hawkeye, Daredevil, or Daredevil Born Again. I just think D'Onofrio's portrayal of Kingpin is absolutely spot on. He's a big guy himself anyway. He just absolutely nailed the part. And it would be great if we did get a Vincent D'Onofrio Kingpin from Daredevil Born Again. I know we've got, what's his name, Daredevil himself and the Punisher coming soon, so I've got those pre-ordered. But yeah, he just looks absolutely superb. Love this character. Love Vincent D'Onofrio's portrayal. Anyhow, that's enough of Kingpin. Let's crack on and get one of the Spiderman retro carded figures open. 2 seconds. Okay then, so up next we have Hammerhead from Spiderman, the animated series. Now, I've never ever heard of this guy. I've seen him about in different stores at low prices and stuff like that. And I thought, there's no point me getting him because I don't know who he is. So I started watching Spider-Man, the animated series. I've got to say, absolutely loving that. Fantastic. And Hammerhead was in it. So I thought, okay, makes sense now. I know who he is. I'll like the animated series, I'll buy the figure. So that's what I've done. But before we take a look at the figure, let's take a look at the card. So yeah, again, it's on the retro style card there. Really good card stock. You've got Marvel Comics. If I move it back at the top there, Spider-Man there. You've got the big window with the figure and his accessories there. You've got the cartoon image of him here, Marvel's Hammerhead. Yeah, I am loving the colours of that card back. That is absolutely stunning. Now, I do have another one of these, which I'm keeping carded. So that's why I'm opening this one. Spin it round. You've got the image of Hammerhead there. Spider-Man in his web with Spider-Man. And then you've got like a bio here. So if I move that a little bit closer, if you can see that, you can pause it and read the bio there. So, and here we have some more figures within the line. You've got Spider-Man Armor Mark 1. You've got Symbiont Spider-Man, Hobgoblin, Spider-Man here. I think that's Ben Keeley. And then you've got Marvel's Shocker, which is another guy that I'll be looking at getting because you've got the Insidious 6 villains who come under... what's his name? Bloody hell, Kingpin. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, there you go. There's the card. Let's take a look at the figure. 2 seconds. And here is Hammerhead and his accessories out of the packaging. And pretty much like Matt Murdock and Kingpin, he doesn't come blessed with accessories. So we're getting to the accessories first, starting with his spare set of hands, which is awesome because I'm going to swap these out and have him holding his baseball bat. So there you go, there's those. And here is the baseball bat. There you go. They've skimped on the paint as well with this. It's just one plain colour. So that does look very plasticky. So there's Hammerhead's accessories. Now let's take a look at Hammerhead. Let's have a look at the face sculpt. I've got to say, I'm liking that. That's pretty cool. He does look like his animated version. As you can see, he's got his flat top noggin there. So yeah, awesome stuff. You've got the black shirt and the red tie, which is cool. And then I'm liking the suit because it's like blue, but you've got like a pinstripe effect as well, which is pretty awesome. I'm liking the fact that they've given him knuckle dusters. So actually, I might keep this on, actually. I like that. I like that look. I'm going to swap this fisticuffed hand out. But yeah, again, another dude in a suit. What more can I say? There you go. Spin around, and it's quite smooth on the back. You've got a few creases here and stuff like that, which looks pretty cool. But yeah, there you go. There is Hammerhead. Let's get him all kitted up, shall we? And here we have Hammerhead all kitted out. And pretty much like Matt Murdock and Kingpin, he is just a dude in a suit and not the most exciting figure in the world. But he will serve a purpose and look pretty awesome in the display. Now, I don't know much at all about Hammerhead. The only time I've seen him is in the animated series of Spider-Man. I'm pretty sure that he was in the comics as well at some point back in the early days. I don't know if he's still going in the comics. But from what I've seen in the animated series, I think he's a pretty cool figure. He does remind me very much of that typical New York gangster from back in the 40s and 50s and stuff like that, the way he's voiced. He looks very dapper in his suit. I'm loving the pinstripe effect as well. That is pretty cool. And like I say, you can't really do too much with him, but I like the way he's posed there. And again, he's going to look pretty awesome in the display. Right, we have one more figure to get open. Let's get him open, shall we? Okay then, so last, but by no means least, we have Hobgoblin from Spider-Man, the animated series. And I've got to say, wow, I am liking this figure a lot. He really pops. I'm loving the colours. Again, you've got the classic retro style card back there. So let's just bring this forward a little bit. You've got Marvel Comics there with Spider-Man written across there with Spider-Man here in his webbing. An awesome image of Hobgoblin just there. That bubble with the figure. Yeah, absolutely outstanding. He is the Mutt's nuts. That is for sure. What a great looking figure. Spin it round. Again, you've got the image of Hobgoblin there with Spider-Man, his Spider-Man web, and the character Spider-Man there. Just bring it forward again. If you can see that, the bio's there. So I can't read it because I ain't got my glasses, but there you go. And then again, you've got the rest of the figures that I've already pointed out in the earlier wave and just done an overview on Hammerhead. So there we go. Hobgoblin. How cool is he? And I do love those retro style carbacks. Let's get him open and see what he's all about. Okie dokie then, so here is Hobgoblin and his accessories out of the packaging. And at first glance, I've got to say, really liking this figure. The colours really pop, but we'll get into that in a second. Let's take a look at the accessories first, starting with his weapon of choice, which is this grenade, which is disguised as a pumpkin or an orange. The orange in certain lights does look translucent, but you've got a two-tone green there, which is pretty cool for the vegetation. I think it's more resembles a pumpkin, doesn't it? So yeah, that's pretty cool. Then you have his shoulder satchel, which is pretty cool, predominantly all one color, but if I leave it there, you can see halfway up the strapping you have a silver buckle, which they've kindly painted, which is pretty cool. Other than that, it's just all one color. And then you have his little sky skiff. Again, it's all predominantly purple, and if I get it in certain light, you should be able to see, or focus even. Focus! There you go. You can see the red of the eyes there, so that looks pretty cool. Right, let's take a look at the figure. And here we have Hobgoblin. Look at that cheesy little grin. Eh? A face only your mother could be proud of. But yeah, really cool. Liking that a lot. The colours absolutely pop. The orange, the blues, the yellows, really cool. You've got the black of the belt there. And then they've even gone to the effort of painting the belt buckle a silver colour, which is pretty cool. I appreciate that. And then there's the rest of the figure, the boots and stuff. Pretty decent. Spin it round. You can see his cape. It is a hard goods cape, but they've given it like a wear and tear sort of look, which is pretty awesome. Like I said, when I opened this up the other day, I did say I was concerned that they didn't have a stand so you could display the sky skiff with him standing on it. So I'm going to have to try it and find a stand to hold him on, and I'll work it out. But for now, I'm going to put him together and give my final thoughts on Hobgoblin. 2 seconds. And here you go. Unbelievable. And finally, we have Hobgoblin posed, and I've got to say, what an absolute bloody ball ache that was trying to get him posed. What a nightmare. 20 to 25 minutes I tried to get this guy posed. He wasn't having none of it. And I was starting to lose it in the end, and I was going to say, right, sod this, I'll have him standing, but I wasn't to be defeated. But yeah, like I say, I love the figure, I love the colours, the oranges, the yellows, the blues, the purples, they all really pop. But why, Hasbro? Give an action figure an accessory they can't really use, or it's not easy to use. So it would have been a wise idea to put pegs on that sky skiff and use the pegs to pin into the bottom of his foot. Give him a bit more stability. There's not. You've got those two little straps at the bottom there, which are basically as useful as a freaking chocolate teapot. Absolute nightmare. But I'm glad I've got him. I think he looks great. But yeah, ball ache, an absolute ball ache. And to be fair, even if you did have a display stand to put him on, you wouldn't be displaying him. He'd be constantly falling over. And yeah, that would do my head in. So I'm going to have to display him as is, I'm afraid. Right, okay, that's enough whiffle waffle from me. Let's get the rest of the figures up and give my final thoughts and see the video out. 2 seconds. Righty-ho then, so here are the 4 figures that I've opened up today. And I've got to say, blind dude in a suit, big bad villain in a suit, and another villain in a suit, and a hobgoblin, which is an absolute ball ache to try and stand on the sky skiff. Other than that, I'm loving them. I'm loving them. Like I said before, Matt Murdock, Kingpin, and Hammerhead, they're not the most exciting looking figures, but they will look absolutely tremendous in my display. And that's the main thing. I'm happy with them. I'm cool with the fact that they're not overexciting. They're pivotal characters. Well, I don't know about Hammerhead, but Matt Murdock and Kingpin are pivotal characters within the Marvel Universe. I'm guessing Hammerhead is like a fringe player, but he still looks cool, so I'm happy with that. And then you've got Hobgoblin. Again, like I said just a moment ago, fantastic looking figure, loving the colours. They really do pop. But, oh my God, what an absolute nightmare that was to try and get imposed on that sky skiff. Anyhow, I'm absolutely gasping for a cup of tea, and I want to dunk a couple of biscuits in my cup of tea as well. That'll make me very happy. So, all I've got left to say is, if you're new to the channel, feel free to comment, like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell to let you know of more content. And as always, there will be more content. Very much appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. Very much appreciate your support, your friendship and your generosity over the years. That means a lot to me. Thank you. And I don't take it lightly when I say that either. I do generally mean that. Take care, stay safe, and we shall see you in the next video. Bye for now.